The Denver Broncos' path to reclaiming the AFC West crown just became a whole lot clearer. While division rivals stumble, Denver is finding its rhythm. Courtland Sutton's newly restructured deal now looks like a stroke of genius, setting the tone for a team ready to rise. But the story doesn't stop there. Across the AFC, injuries are already shaping the battlefield. The stakes are rising, and the countdown is almost over. Within 24 hours, the preseason vanishes and the real season begins. Rosters will shrink from 90-plus names to just 53, and those cuts have already started. The first wave has been announced, and it's only the beginning. And then there's Jakobi Meyers, a receiver who continues to make headlines. Last year in Las Vegas, despite some of the ugliest quarterback play imaginable, Meyers still found a way to shine. He hauled in 1,027 yards, putting up production nearly on par with Sutton himself. Week after week, he delivered highlight reel moments, diving grabs, contested catches, end zone magic. Look at the numbers. In the second half of the season, only Puka Nacua and Jamar Chase topped him in production. That's the level he played at, an elite stretch that made the league take notice. Meyers proved he's more than just reliable. He's a difference maker. And as Denver sharpens its focus, stories like these only add fuel to the fire. The stage is set, the Broncos are ready, and the AFC West just got a whole lot more interesting. Jakobi Meyers leaving Las Vegas only strengthens the belief that the Denver Broncos are ready to dominate the AFC West. The Raiders just lost one of their most reliable weapons, and when you take that piece off the board, the balance of power shifts even further toward Denver. Sean Payton has always preached the formula for offensive success: a strong tight end, a dependable running back, and a dangerous wide receiver. That triangle is the heartbeat of any great offense. Now, the Raiders' triangle has collapsed. With Meyers gone, they're missing a cornerstone, and the rest of the puzzle doesn't add up. Las Vegas has already watched its defense get gutted. The one lingering threat was their ability to trade blows in high-scoring shootouts. But even that edge is fading. Yes, Brock Bowers looks like a generational tight end, and Ashton Jeanty adds firepower in the backfield, but will it be enough? Geno Smith may steady the quarterback position, yet it feels more like patchwork than dominance. The truth is, I'm no longer worried about the Raiders forcing shootouts where Denver's defense had to withstand 35 or 40 points a game. That fear is gone. Instead, it looks like the Broncos are positioned to sweep Las Vegas once again. And it's not just Meyers' exit. Behind the scenes, cracks are widening. Their second-best defensive player, Christian Wilkins, was suddenly dismissed from the team with little explanation. Now, another star finds himself in the same situation as Courtland Sutton, except instead of staying to fight, he's walking away. For a franchise already struggling to hold things together, these are devastating signs. For the Broncos, it's one more reason to believe this division is theirs for the taking. What we're seeing in Las Vegas is nothing short of dysfunction. For a moment, it looked like the Raiders had some stability, but history reminds us they always find a way to collapse. As a Broncos fan, that's music to our ears. The Raiders are going to Raider, and once again it's playing out right before our eyes. Jakobi Meyers was a true matchup nightmare. It didn't matter who lined up against him, and it didn't matter who was under center, Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, whoever, Meyers still made plays. He attacked the ball, fought for every yard, and created problems for every defense he faced. That kind of weapon is rare, and the fact that he's gone is massive news for Denver. Now there's been chatter about how Meyers could thrive in Sean Payton's system. And while the fit may look perfect on paper, let's be real, a trade like that within the division isn't happening. The Raiders won't hand the Broncos a weapon like that. Let him land in the NFC, far away from Denver, far away from Kansas City. Anywhere but the AFC West. Meanwhile, Las Vegas is making baffling decisions elsewhere. They poured big money into Christian Wilkins, and so far it's led to nothing but frustration. A franchise in chaos continues to sink deeper, while Denver climbs higher. But the road to the playoffs won't just run through division rivals. Watch out for the Houston Texans. Their defense is ferocious, aggressive, fast, and relentless. The offensive line is still shaky, but if they clean that up, Houston is a team that could stand in Denver's way come postseason time. The Houston Texans were counting on a balanced attack with C.J. Stroud leading the passing game and a strong ground game to back him up. But their gamble on Joe Mixon has already hit a wall. He's set to miss at least the first 4 games of the season. No one ever wants to see injuries, and I hope Mixon recovers quickly. But the reality is this setback tilts things in the Broncos' favor when it comes to the playoff picture. Meanwhile, across the league, the ripple effects of big contracts are being felt. Terry McLaurin just signed a massive 3-year, $96 million deal, and it makes Courtland Sutton's renegotiated contract look like an absolute steal for Denver. Think about it. Sutton and McLaurin were in nearly identical situations. Statistically, their numbers weren't that far apart. Terry had a few more explosive plays, some extra 20-yard catches, and a couple more touchdowns, but Sutton held his own. In fact, in just 1 quarter of preseason action against a strong Saints defense, Sutton torched them for 84 yards. If he had played a full game at that pace, he would have shattered 300 yards receiving. That's true WR1 production. Yet while McLaurin's deal resets the wide receiver market at over $30 million a year, Denver managed to secure Sutton on team-friendly terms. That's the kind of move that gives the Broncos long-term flexibility while still locking down one of their best weapons. For Denver, it's a win on multiple fronts. The roster is financially balanced, the offense is built around proven playmakers, and the Broncos are in a position of strength while rivals struggle to keep up. When Courtland Sutton agreed to his new deal, many questioned if it was too much. Critics pointed to his yards after the catch and wondered if the Broncos had overpaid. But now it's clear Sutton wasn't trying to reset the market. He took a team-friendly deal, a true hometown discount, and that speaks volumes about his commitment to Denver. For Broncos fans, that's the kind of loyalty and value you want to see from one of your leaders. Meanwhile, around the NFL, chaos is everywhere. Micah Parsons continues his holdout. Trey Hendrickson in Cincinnati is doing the same. Across the league, headlines are dominated by negativity, stars clashing with management, holdouts dragging on, locker room unrest. But in Denver, the stories are different. For once, the spotlight isn't about dysfunction or disappointment. It's about momentum. National analysts are taking notice too. Dan Orlovsky went on record saying the Broncos have the best defense in football, at worst, a top 3 unit, and one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. That's not hometown bias. That's the national media recognizing what's building in Denver. And for Broncos country, it feels surreal. After years of hearing nothing but doubt, suddenly the tide is turning. The respect is coming back. Some fans worry it could be a jinx, that all this praise might bring the wrong kind of energy. But deep down, this feels different. This feels real. The Denver Broncos are no longer a punchline. They're becoming a problem for the rest of the league. Some fans get nervous when the Broncos receive too much national praise, almost as if it might jinx the team. But I don't buy into that. This isn't luck or superstition. It's well-earned respect. The national media is finally recognizing what Sean Payton has been building in Denver since the moment he took over. And honestly, I welcome it. This team deserves every ounce of credit, and Broncos country should embrace it. Because it's not just about big free agent signings. Denver has done something that sets them apart from so many other franchises. They draft well, and they develop talent even better. That's where champions are built. Take a look at the contrast with New England. Analysts are already talking about the Patriots pushing for a playoff spot, but their draft classes have been brutal. From last year's group, Drake May is the only real lock to make the roster. The rest? Injuries, cuts, trades, the team has already given up on most of them. Now compare that to Denver. 4 rookies from last season made meaningful contributions, not just in the regular season, but in playoff games. That's impact. That's development. And on top of that, the Broncos even turned Devin Veal into another valuable 4th-round pick. This is the difference. While other teams stumble with failed picks and wasted opportunities, Denver is stacking success through smart drafting, strong development, and a clear vision under Sean Payton. That's why the Broncos are surging, and why the national spotlight feels more like validation than a curse. The Broncos' most recent draft class is already proving its worth. If not for an unfortunate injury, Alex Gargiulo would have locked down a roster spot as a versatile swing lineman. Even so, Denver hit on almost every other pick. Audrey Esteem might be the lone question mark, But he's also the youngest player on the team. There's still plenty of time for him to grow, and he could even survive roster cutdowns. Chris Abrams' showed flashes of brilliance, picking off Justin Herbert in a game with playoff implications. He's looked like a true lockdown corner in the preseason and easily deserves snaps over Levi Wallace. Troy Franklin is poised for a breakout season, a player ready to pop off the page. Jonah Ellis has already made history, becoming one of the youngest players ever to record 5 sacks at just 21 years old. And then there's Bo Nix. His rookie year was nothing short of spectacular. If not for Jaden Daniels' historic season, Nix would have been the clear Rookie of the Year. What he accomplished as a first-year quarterback wasn't just impressive, it was one of the best rookie seasons the NFL has ever seen. And that's not just Denver bias, that's reality. The success doesn't stop there. Looking ahead, confidence is sky high in this year's rookies: Q Robinson, R.J. Harvey, Pat Bryant, and Jaden Barron. Under Sean Payton, the Broncos' draft picks don't bust, they deliver. And if history is any indicator, a year from now we'll be celebrating another wave of young talent making their mark in orange and blue. This is an incredibly exciting time for Broncos country, and for anyone doubting what this team showed in the preseason, the numbers speak loud and clear. Denver finished with the #1 offense and the #1 defense in the league during preseason. Sure, the games don't officially count, but the momentum absolutely does. Sean Payton is using every snap, every rep to build a foundation that will carry into the regular season. But with the highs come the tough moments. The roster is being trimmed, and dozens of players we've grown attached to are about to be cut. Today, we saw the first wave of moves, and a couple names stood out. Clay Webb was a shocker. The Broncos gave him the most guaranteed money of any undrafted player this offseason, which usually signals a strong chance of making the roster. Yet, despite that investment, he's been let go. Another surprise was tight end Hakeem Davis, an athletic freak with blazing speed who brought flashes of excitement throughout camp. Denver will hope he clears waivers and makes it back to the practice squad, but his release still stings. As final cutdowns approach, more decisions loom. Names like Audric Esteem and Callel Brantley hang in the balance. Will one of them survive to make the final 53? Both or neither? One thing's for sure, this roster is stronger than it's been in years, and tough cuts are the price of progress. The message is clear: Sean Payton is building something real in Denver. The foundation is set, the momentum is growing, and the Broncos are ready to prove they belong at the top. When final cuts are made, I believe both Audric Esteem and Caleb Blauner will find their way onto the roster. How it all works out with the numbers is anyone's guess, but one thing is certain: the Broncos are stacked with talent, and tough decisions come with the territory. At the end of the day, this isn't about math, it's about belief. The Raiders can keep taking their losses, but here in Denver, the future is bright. Broncos country has every reason to believe again.